As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. And this announcement I thought was interesting, that Amazon's game streaming service Luna is opening access to all Prime members starting June 21st and June 22nd, which is Amazon Prime Days. And the other article, which I will tie this to, is Microsoft developing new hardware to bring Game Pass and cloud gaming to TVs. So basically a dongle, you'll plug in your TV. Sounds a lot like Google Stadia. And so, two sort of cloud gaming pieces of news. For me, unfortunately, I'm just a bit sad that people are still pursuing cloud gaming, not having learned their lesson from Stadia. But is anyone bullish on either of these? Is anyone surprised by the Amazon announcement, how soon it's coming? I think that surprised me. Just curious to get your thoughts on these two stories.
Do we know what games are on the Amazon with Amazon?
We saw it in the screenshot, Jeff.
Yeah, so it's going to be free to try for 7 days, okay? For Prime subscribers. It's going to be available on Windows, Mac, Fire TV, and iPhone, iPad, and select Android phones, whatever that means. The pricing's $6 a month for access to games including Control, which, by the way, was free on the Epic Game Store just last week.
It was also an anchor launch title for the Epic Game Store, is what got me to install it.
Grid and Metro Exodus. And once you've got a Luna account, so once you're paying the $6 a month, you can pay $14.99 extra to get the Ubisoft Plus channel, which gives you access to Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Watch Dogs.
This sounds like a dystopia I don't want to live in anymore. Like,
and the controller's being discounted, just FYI.
I mean, it's smart of them. It's smart of them, I think, to tie this with Prime. I mean, that makes sense. We would have thought that initially, but the fact that they're tying this trial or this alpha period with Prime, I think, is a smart move. Although everyone has Prime, so I guess it's basically just open to everyone. But this is going to be a non-event because Google Stadia proved the technology for this exists. It works. It just nobody cares unless you have exclusive content. Like it just doesn't matter. Nobody
Is that what
cares.
Stadia proved?
I thought. I mean, the technology worked.
Sorta.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Like I think launching with a game like
Asterisk.
Grid is kind of concerning because Grid's a racing game. It's a dirt rally game. Dirt Rally is very twitch and very reactive. One wrong move, you're off the track. 2 milliseconds is everything. This is probably the worst title you could have chosen to demonstrate server-based gaming. So, like, have fun with that.
Yeah, but see, I think this sounds way more appealing than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah. Seriously, can I defend this? Like,
Yeah,
seriously?
defend it, William. I like this.
All right, here's my defense, because this is actually not me being facetious. I genuinely think this sounds a lot better than I thought. Okay, first of all, tying to Prime. I never thought they'd do it, but they did it, and that's super smart because, like, I'm just telling you, you are going to get a ton of people activating this because it's a free game in Prime. And, you guys just be like, oh, it's easy. It's in my Prime account already. Let's do it. Let's try it out. So I think you're going to get a relatively high early adoption just because probably a bunch of people with Prime haven't played some of these games. That's the first thing, right? Second thing is the price point's great. $6. Like, I like that price point. I guarantee you they tried to hit $5 and couldn't. I'm telling you right now, it was supposed to be a $5 launch price and they just couldn't quite get the economics to work, but whatever. $6 launch price is cheap enough that it's below even the baseline movie and TV subscription services. It's probably something you could just fold in and forget about, right? And, I go back to, like, who is this service really for? I think what what Stadia showed us is this is not a service for gamers, right? This is a service for liminal people who are like, maybe on mobile, maybe curious, right? Who want to get into gaming with an upgrade, who want to get into gaming in a light, easy, low cost way. That's really the market here. And are these bad titles for that general audience? Control's a fun narrative driven Twin Peak style game. I imagine an off-road racing game has big sort of non-core gamer appeal, like I could see these titles. Look, these aren't great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, these games are old, This is not like
no, but I totally
old
get
and
your point.
free in other places. Just
yeah,
to be
old
clear.
and free in other places. But it's like a simple starter proposition for somebody who is already starting to use Amazon for other types of media, like video purchase and stuff. Like, I could see this. This has a more defensible niche than Stadia, which was trying to be like, I don't know who Stadia was for with $60 games. And, this is like, at least this is like, if you already have a Prime account and you're curious about games, here are some pretty good games for $6. Like, that seems pretty good to me. It's not going to be the future of gaming, but it seems a pretty good start. I thought this was dead on arrival.
It's good for parents too, right? Ones that want to provide their kids with a lot of different distractions. Like for me, the best part of that was, who's this for, right? Because I'm looking at these titles. It's not for me. I'm looking at what I want to play here, the upsell for Ubisoft. The amount of time it's going to take me to beat Valhalla, it's cheaper to buy the game because it's going to take me a few months, right? And that $15 upcharge, which I imagine is on top of the 6. I can't quite tell. Yeah. So I'm just going to wait till the game goes on sale. But I agree with that. Like I think that this is for it reminds me of how Prime was also provided Twitch subs for free, right? You used to get one free sub for all Prime holders.
You still do.
You still do. And these kids would use their parents' Prime subscription or their Prime subscriptions and then throw that sub to their favorite streamer. I thought that packaging was clever as well. And then you see it here with Luna. I think it's for parents and I think it's for kids, honestly.
Not parents, maybe.
Well, for parents to give to their kids,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, sorry.
But it feels better. Like, I mean, obviously, you know what? And I guarantee you, if all of this offering was the same with one twist, right? One twist. Amazon had an exclusive game that they had developed through their studio. I forgot what their studio was called or if it's even still around, but whatever. Right? They had an exclusive game that anchored this. And it was a relatively hyped. It wouldn't have to be a good hyped game. It would have to be a relatively hyped game.
They were supposed to have a couple exclusives.
That's a big caveat.
And they shut down both of them.
That's like a $150 million, like, massive mega hit. That's a big caveat. But I agree.
A big caveat, but then this might start to look like a Steam because we'd all try it just to play the game and then who knows where it goes. So I know it's a massive caveat, but like for Amazon strategically, I bet they had thought about marrying those things at some point, which was a story of how this got here. And also Amazon has the money. If this works as a first step, they can just go buy or license something to get that anchor. I really do believe that, right? Like, if this is I think what you're seeing is a first strong, but still relatively lukewarm foray for them. And if the metrics here come back with anything like positive, the next thing you're going to read is Amazon Inc.'s 3-year exclusive deal with, Respawn Interactive for, future Apex world expansion, something
and they
like
bought
that.
Todd Howard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Todd Howard gets Amazon.
Are you more bullish on this or Epic Game Store? I know they're not exactly the same, but similar strategy, right?
More bullish on this. More bullish on this.
Just because it's Amazon, or why?
Just because like I think Epic Game Store is in a challenge where it's always going to be second fiddle for Steam, and I don't see it doing enough to displace the anchor. So I'm not saying it can't be a successful alternative marketplace, and but like. This actually has a potential to be a different distribution model for games. This could really bring games to the 40+ demo that, is curious about the medium and, didn't have an easy, accessible way. And now it's the same place you buy your groceries, right? Like telling you can get a game. So like this has more of a game-changing perspective to me. I think if I want to know which one is more likely to succeed, it's the Epic Store, but which one has more potential to be an Epic, like which one would I prefer to be betting on? I'd bet on Amazon because it could be a sea change for the industry, and it's a good sea change. It's one around inclusivity, right? Like the Epic Game Store isn't going to convert somebody who's non-gamer into a gamer. It's just going to convince a gamer to buy somewhere else. This might actually turn people who aren't gamers into gamers. Sorry,
you were gonna.
Yeah. I know that you all are tired of me talking about broadband, which is lucky because I actually just published an op-ed about how bad broadband is holding back cloud gaming. And I don't think that this service is going to be successful unless broadband gets better. I don't see how any cloud service could be successful until broadband gets better. A lot of us are in cities where there's multiple providers. There's a lot of speed options. There's plenty of towers around you to make that signal strong and consistent, but the majority of Americans are not in similar situations. And I am extremely surprised, and I continue to be surprised, that gaming companies don't take a more active interest in improving broadband. Because not only cloud gaming is the first in a series of really big technological advances, and you talk about AR and VR, all of that is going to require better connections that we don't have. There's a lot of potential technologies on the horizon that could solve this, but nothing has been standout so far. Nothing has captured and given people the connection that they need to pursue even regular activities. I know you all saw the articles during the pandemic about drop Zoom calls. I know
love the
you
FCC,
had
man.
Yeah, I know you got the unstable connection warnings. Like, I just think that these services are putting the cart before the horse.
The technology problems haven't been solved. Even beyond the broadband issue, there are other technology problems that haven't been solved. But I think regardless of the technology problems, you guys are focused on the wrong things and are wrong on Amazon on this one. Like, to me, this is a huge miss for Amazon. It's also quintessentially very unlike Amazon's strategy in most other markets. Fundamentally, Amazon in my mind, had a huge opportunity here to really make an impact on gaming. And all they had to do, because for me, the Stadia's failure was not just technology. Yes, technology was a big problem. Stadia's failure was, and Jimmy brought this up, it's who's the audience, but I will expand on Jimmy's thought and say, what is the business model that you're using to target that audience, right? And the match or mismatch between those two things, to me, is why Stadia failed, because those two things just didn't make sense together, right? You have a hyper casual targeted service, but a business model that's so complex, even a hardcore gamer can't figure it out. The games are only for hardcore gamers. Like, there was this mismatch between product and business model and the audience. And Amazon has made the same mistake here. Same mistake. And let me give you what I think Amazon should have done here, because I think they had an opportunity for a home run. Amazon makes a ton of money on Prime subscriptions. Huge, right? It's massively profitable. And if they had used gaming as a way to push more Prime subscriptions, to me, this is where you win. And what I would have done if I was Amazon is given away the game Luna for free, because $6 a month is nothing, right? Give the gaming service away for free with Prime. You juice your Prime subscriptions because guaranteed people see more value. You will get more signups, and that's $100 or $120 a year, subscription as opposed to $6 a month. It costs you basically nothing to add this service on top, and now you've really opened it up to a potentially huge audience, because who's not going to sign up for free, right? Who's not going to take the freebie? And so you have a much bigger impact. And being Amazon, you have the ability to monetize this not just through Prime subscriptions, but through selling, like through e-commerce, through advertising, through a bunch of other ways that your competitors just don't have. And to me, that's the Amazon business model, right? When they wanted to get into the diaper business, they bought a zillion diapers, they priced them lower than the competition, and they put everyone else out of business. Like, why not do the same with cloud gaming when you have so many other ways to monetize this service?
So the analogy.
The one problem, sorry, William, go ahead.
So the analogy there is like they should go buy a studio, give the games away for free, and turn everything into a Prime. No,
to me, this is not about exclusivity at all. This is about the product, the business model, and the audience. We all agree cloud gaming is a more casual audience. So make this a free service with Prime and figure out other ways to monetize this, including
I just don't get
Prime.
how you could justify giving it away. Like they already have. I think you would have to charge something on top of Prime or increase the price of Prime. Prime already has 200 million plus subscribers. Like you're not going to get more people subscribing to Prime because of this. There's just I just think the audience is.
You think the audience for Prime is totally saturated? There's no growth to be had there?
I think as people mature, they get Prime, but I don't think there are that many people out there that are like, man, I can't afford Prime. I don't want Prime. Oh, they
Jeff,
added a video
game. I get it. Let me ask you a question then. Hold on. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. You're a Prime customer, right? What do you think people are more likely to say yes to? Okay. Hey, Jeff, you pay $120 a year for Prime. Come sign up for my gaming subscription at $6 a month. Okay. Sales pitch number one versus, hey, Jeff, you pay $120 for Prime, right? We're going to raise it to $130 because we're providing so much value. Do you even blink at that one?
No.
And
so you're saying they would raise the price? But same thing. Then.
But without charging specifically
for a $10 upcharge across a 200 million person base, right, is way more growth than $6 a month, and maybe you get 100,000, a million people to sign up.
Sneakily upcharge for it and not necessarily say this is for this.
Of course.
But over time, you basically get that value.
It's what every subscription service does.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Problem is you'd be, the risk is you are giving away a lot in the hope that you can extract more in the future, where you don't necessarily, the cost of giving this away is fairly high, right? Like cloud gaming is really expensive.
Not for Amazon. You have the servers.
They own the web servers, and they're not making exclusive games. So I see Paul's point, but I think William makes a good point in that I think it's valuable in the sense that it's a gateway drug, and it'll get the people hopefully to spend more time on the platform of Twitch overall as well. But I don't know if that's the main thing that they're going for. I think that'll be a byproduct.
Mark my words, Luna doesn't hit even 1 million subscribers. Doesn't even come close. This goes the way of Stadia 100%. Because of the mismatch between the audience and the business model. Did Stadia even hit 100,000? Probably not.
I'm not even sure if they did it your way, Paul. If it would have been better, but I'm still not sure it would have hit 1 million subscribers because
maybe, but it would have squeezed Microsoft. It would have squeezed your competitors a little bit. Your presence now, you have an impact, right?
I still just don't get what the value proposition is.
I still think the easiest way to do this whole thing, rather than this convoluted back channel, is just make your own games. Or buy it. I mean, I hate to say it, but we're all kind of retrofitting for this problem. Like when Amazon wanted to go into grocery, right? They weren't just what did they do? They recognized, geez, we should probably buy a grocery store, because it's tough to go into grocery without owning a grocery business, right?
I think it's a natural progression now, right, for them.
Yeah, and a lot of what they've done is white label. I just think it's very strange, and why we're in this position is because I think this should have been paired with some sort of, and I think everything changes when it's paired with a content play, and I think it's an unusual miss for Amazon, particularly after their internal dev maybe doesn't do what they want, to then shy away from a content acquisition, because they don't seem to be shy to buy things when they think a space is important. If you think of how they've entered pretty much every market from shoes to food, they bought people,
I mean, that's exactly what Microsoft did when they brought out Xbox.
That's exactly right.
Marry content with distribution.
Yeah. And it's just, I think launching a cloud gaming service is the same as launching a console in a lot of ways. And so I think if you have a formula that works for console, and you're surprised when you're building a Neo Geo right now. I mean, building less than, I don't know. I'll be quiet. Neo Geo is a good system. But
I want to read this. William, Christian loves your commentary on Amazon. Christian says also agree with Paul's point that Christian, you can't agree with both of us. Agree with Paul's point that Amazon's business model is pointed to the Prime subscription. Why not include it for free and then jack up Prime price across the board by $1 or $2 next year? Agreed, Christian. That was what Amazon should have done.